Hello, everybody. This is going to be a slightly different video from what I usually do, like Twitch streams, as you may or may not know. That's not the point right now. I'm currently working on a couple homebrew projects, and one of them involves the Mattel HyperScan, a console many of you, most of you, likely never even heard about. It was objectively bad. It was very short-lived. It had some interesting ideas, but it was severely underspec'd for the time. It was pretty much based on this system on a chip that you can read here. And if you want to emulate it, because if you're like me and you have this morbid, at this point, I think we can safely call it morbid, passion for retro gaming, and one day you wake up and not only you say I want to emulate the HyperScan and see how it is, but you also say I want to integrate it into my homebrew project, which is a whole new level of morbid, I'm aware. I was like, what emulators are out there for the HyperScan? There's one standalone one which doesn't work. It's just like a POC. And then there's a driver for MAME, which is the one you're seeing right here. There's a slight hitch with this emulator. It works. You can play games. Games are typicalized as like bin and queue files, the usual stuff. There's one slight hitch, as I was saying. Completely unemulated features sound. This system doesn't work. The emulation for this system is not yet complete. I mean, this is likely a standard main message. But the key point is this: completely unemulated features sound. If you, right now, as of this video, as far as I'm aware, unless someone else beat me to it, but I think it's quite unlikely, for reasons that are not my merit, like just for the sheer craziness of this. Or to put it very simply, no one cares enough, which is perfectly fine. If you right now you download MAME and you get it working with a HyperScan ISO, you won't get sound. You will be able to play the game, but you won't get sound. Possibly also the game emulation is not perfect. I'm not really an expert on that, but you will be able to play, but you will get no sound. Well, I was vibe coding with AI. I want to put this out there because I don't want to take merits that I don't deserve. There's supposed to be sound here, I know. But that's not really the point right now. I will explain why later. As you may know or may not know, the HyperScan is also known for its terrible loading times, and the emulated version is no exception to that. The thing is, once this loads, and again, we are MAME, this is not real hardware. Yeah, there's sound. We, and I say we not because I'm humanizing AI, I don't want to sound like that, but I say we because literally alone I wouldn't have been able to make this. We patched, we improved MAME's driver, and we included sound. And believe me, this took 2 hours of work, maybe, which, you know, strengthens my theory that simply no one cared enough. But at the same time, this is, in my opinion, one of the best use cases for vibe coding and AI encoding, because this doesn't replace anyone. This doesn't take anything away from people. Sorry, it's likely copyrighted. This just adds something to something that was existing. It's just a pure improvement. And I'm 100% sure that there will be people out there saying, yeah, but it's still AI powered, so it doesn't matter, it doesn't care. There will be people who will say, uh, I prefer using an emulator without sound than using one that has sound but was made thanks also to AI. You know, that's a legitimate opinion. I'm not saying it's right or not. Everyone is free. But literally, I can see nothing wrong with this. Because this is such a specific case of a specific system that no one knows about, almost no one knows about. No one cares enough about this system to pursue this, because obviously an experienced developer could have whipped up something similar in a similar amount of time. But yeah, this is it. And we have audio in a HyperScan game. And I'm assuming there could be sounds coming from this selection that are not playing. And this circles back to what I was saying at the beginning when there was the pulsing animation of the HyperScan logo that is supposed to have sound. And this is because there are two separate channels, as far as I'm aware, as for what we know. The sound you're hearing that we were able to introduce is the DAC FIFO sound with a specific ring buffer mechanism. The initial pulsing, and I'm guessing also the other sounds, are hardware channels. What we would call sound effects. So we got the music tracks working. So to oversimplify things, now it's a matter of finding the effects. But yeah, this is likely the first public demonstration of working audio in a HyperScan emulator for the likely 4 people who will be interested in this. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there as a sort of evidence, and because if in the future I will likely push a PR on the MAME repository, but I will be fully transparent as I have been fully transparent in this video. I've said it during the video. I will put it in the description that I've been using AI for this project, and it's also, or mostly thanks to AI, that I was able to do this. So I'm perfectly sure that there will be people saying we don't want to infect MAME's repository with something made by AI, with code written by AI, which again is fine. Should they choose something like that, I will accept that. I will not pretend this is made by me 100% and try and make it pass like that. That's just not who I am. But, you know, at the same time, I want this to be out there because it's still something to be proud of, because, you know, in all our lives, we almost never have the chance to say something like, I'm the first one doing this, I'm the first one achieving this. Because if there's something the internet has taught us, is that pretty much someone will have thought about your idea before you, and that's almost always the case. Like I will tell you a funny story. I was developing a rhythm game, again always vibe coding, and I was thinking about how to chart tracks, you know, how to map inputs to tracks. They're all my tracks, and I was like, yeah, I know that there are probably sites that where you upload your audio file and you get an automated mapping based on, you know, the peaks in the wave file and all that stuff. But I'm like, I would like to have it, you know, organic and man-made if possible. And I was like, I literally had the light bulb over my head saying, what if we could create a Python script? Because apparently there's a Python script of everything in this world. What if we could create a Python script that, you know, it starts, it plays the audio, it records my inputs live while I'm hearing the audio, and I'm the musician who created the audio, so I know, you know, where the accents should go and what the user should play and all stuff. Like there's a boogie woogie part in one song where they usually like have to juggle the analog sticks up and down because it simulates, you know, boogie dancing and all that stuff. And at the end, when the audio stops, it charts a full map of, and the AI was like, yeah, that's manual bit mapping, and that's what everyone has been doing for like the last 20 years. And I was like, oh, cool. But this is likely one of the first times in my life where I've been able to say, I think no one else did that before me. And that's just because it's a crazy coincidence of interest and availability of tools. But still, I'm happy. I hope you're happy too. I hope that once this is live, if it ever goes live, or if not, if you can contact me, and I will just give you the MAME driver we've been working on. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, especially listening. Thanks for watching, and see you in the future.